guys, I'm Eric.
And I'm Grace. We're the Wandering Ravens.
We're a couple of Americans living in the belly of Britain's oldest enemy. And today we are introducing you to some of the wild objects that we've seen roaming around British kitchens.
But before we begin, if you enjoy British culture content with a unique American twist, make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a new video.
Spurtles.
No, these aren't conducting batons. From what we understand, spurtles are used to stir porridge, soup, and other liquidy food items.
Like milk?
Yeah, like milk.
Why the long stick?
What we've been told is that the rod-like shape produces better porridge, as spoons tend to form lumps and other nasty blobs.
Even better, spurtles are easy to clean. Just one strong lick up each side and the porridge comes right off.
If you've used a spurtle before, do they work better than spoons? Why or why not? Pie birds.
When I first heard that Brits actually put blackbirds in their pies, I was prepared for something a lot meatier than these ceramic objects.
From what I understand, British pie birds are used to help vent steam from the inside of the pie and prevent those nasty and very sticky boilovers from happening. These tools are also called pie vents, pie chimneys, and pie whistles.
I made a lot of pies growing up. Apple pies, of course, because I'm American. But I never heard about pie birds until I went to the UK.
It sounds like a useful thing though. I feel like we should have one of these in our eventual kitchen.
It does sound really useful. Question for those of you in the front row, do pie birds actually help make better pies? And do they truly whistle? Crumpet rings.
The first time I saw these in the UK, I actually thought they were cookie cutters. But nope, they are crumpet rings.
Given that British crumpets are a lot like American English muffins, there are probably English muffin rings somewhere out there in the wild west of America, but we just haven't seen them yet.
Scales. This is something that actually really annoyed me at first. And again, this is all based off of personal experience, but I found that many British homes lack measuring cups and instead opt for a scale.
And these aren't even just hit the button and you're ready to go scales. These are proper weights and measure scales like at the doctor's office. They even come complete with little weights.
Question for you. What kind of scales do you use in your kitchen? Or do you partake of the American practice of using measuring cups? Pie Dolly.
Oh my gosh, Brits suck at making bowling pins, is what I thought the first time I saw Pie Dolly. No matter how hard I hit them with my bowling ball, I couldn't seem to knock them all down. Though this could be because an angry baker kept yelling at me to stop throwing things in his pie shop, but I guess we'll never know. Oh, what's that? Oh, sorry, that was the Queen. It's been explained to me that pie dollies are actually for making meat pies, not for bowling. My mistake. Suffice it to say that I had never seen one of these before setting foot in the UK. Yorkshire or Yorkshire pudding trays.
Yorkshire pudding trays are a lot like American muffin trays, except it is a lot more difficult to carry milk in a Yorkshire pudding tray than it is in an American muffin tray. The more you know.
The more you know. When it comes to carrying milk from one room to the other, definitely swap out your Yorkshire pudding tray for the next entry on this list.
Pudding bowls.
I have yet to taste British pudding. Of course, I've had pudding in the sense of dessert, but unfortunately that pudding did not include proper pudding. Up until recently, I didn't understand the purpose of pudding bowls either. They just looked like giant bowls, perfect for breakfast cereal, but I was a little unsure about how they helped make pudding.
A Jamie Oliver video set us straight though. Apparently, you're supposed to grease your pudding bowl, pour your pudding batter or mixture inside, let it steam in a pot for a couple of hours before flipping it out onto a cake dish, and then finishing the whole thing off by dousing it in brandy fire.
If you saw our last video, link right here, you understand that no British tradition is complete without copious amounts of fire. And pudding is a great example of how this passion for the flame extends into the kitchen as well. Pudding steamers.
Don't feel like using a pudding bowl? Use a pudding steamer instead. We couldn't really figure out the difference between the two, so if you understand why someone would use a pudding steamer over a pudding bowl, feel free to let us know. We are very curious. tea cozies.
Don't you just hate it when you're getting all settled in with a nice cup of tea and then the teapot starts moaning about being cold? Stupid piece of inanimate material. Whew. Try saying that 3 times fast. Well, rest easy, because apparently British kitchens come equipped with something called a tea cozy, which you can bundle around your teapot to shut it up about the miserable British weather.
Just wrap it up and there you go. Nothing better than a cup of tea in silence.
The only way we can shut our American teapots up is by breaking them against our 4-car garages.
Question for the Brits. On a scale from 0 to 10, just how naff are tea cozies?
Washing up bowls.
Do you remember the movie Inception? It must have been a huge hit in the UK, because similar to how Leonardo DiCaprio enjoys dreams within dreams, British people enjoy sinks within sinks.
I'm sure someone somewhere uses washing up bowls in America, but we have yet to see it. This in contrast to in the UK and British homes abroad, where we have seen washing up bowls in every kitchen that we have entered.
Toast racks.
Have you ever felt that creeping sense of self-loathing disgust as you realize that you are the least vital employee in your office? Multiply that by 42 and you just might be able to imagine how the toast rack feels every day. Not trying to hurt the feelings of toast racks, but I gotta be honest, I really don't understand the purpose of this kitchen utensil? Appliance?
Appliance,
thing?
I guess?
Yeah.
Serving thing?
Platter? Dish? Rack? A toast rack is essentially that middle limbo between toaster and plate, so you could just remove the toast rack and transfer toast from toaster to plate.
Given its rather useless function, we'd like to pass a question off to you. Do you use a toast rack? And if so, why?
And question for the cheap seats, on a scale of 0 to 100, just how tough are toast racks? Egg cups.
Speaking of posh things, let's talk about egg cups. I say posh because I think we have these in America, but as a kid, I was always under the impression that anyone who could afford the luxury of egg cups must be doing pretty well for themselves. Did your family have them?
I didn't have egg cups.
Oh.
We were not doing well.
Since I didn't grow up in affluent circles, it wasn't until I went to the UK and experienced true housing estate luxury that I encountered my first egg cup.
Which is to say, they seem really common in the UK. And we do eat hard-boiled and soft-boiled eggs in the USA, but I've always eaten those just on a plate.
Yeah. Egg topper, eggshell cutter.
This thing is a technological marvel and seems like something Alan Turing may have thought up in his spare time. Breaking the top of my eggs. Is that right to do that?
Yeah.
Breaking the top of my eggs seems a bit barbaric and American. Better to crack it open in one symmetrical swoop.
Like egg cups, neither of us saw egg toppers until we went to the UK. Pot noodle fork. Speaking of technological marvels, let's talk about pot noodle forks. Not only is this a fork that spins itself, but if you figure out how to use it properly, it can turn what would have been a 5-minute meal into a French-style 3-hour dinner, only with 1 course.
Suffice it to say, America has yet to discover the diet-inducing wonders of the pot noodle fork. Do you like British food videos? If so, then you will love this playlist of videos right here. It will introduce you to foods that we had never heard about before visiting the UK, as well as letting you know which British delicacies are banned in America.
Also, if you like British culture videos, make sure you whack the subscribe button with your spurtle, because we release new content 3 times a week.
If that's not enough for you, we also release 3 additional videos per week on our Patreon. To learn more about that, do click the link in the description.
Speaking of Patreon, a huge thank you to Chef Virtuoso Jonathan Ketty. Thank you for supporting the channel, Jonathan. We couldn't have made this video without you.
Again, I'm Eric.
I'm Grace.
We're the Wandering Ravens.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bisous!